Ho tenim tot a punt, companys de premsa, protocol, sí?
Dear colleagues and friends, everything is ready. Good then. Good morning, everyone. We decided to call you because of the visit and the jury of the European Capital of Democracy in Barcelona. And I'll explain it to you. I don't know if everyone has the information about it, but as you may know, you will hear it about that later. In Europe, for the first time, we are promoting the European Capital of Democracy from the city of Barcelona, from the city council. We thought it was a very good opportunity to present the candidacy of Barcelona. It's been a long process until now. We were pre-chosen in the first list of 30. We had a visit during the month of November of the jury of experts. You'll be able to listen to them. They were evaluating the different participative process of the city, democratic innovation process that we have in Barcelona. As you may know, we have quite a few of them. Out of this group of cities, they pre-chose 3. And in the last few days, we've had the voting group of experts that chose which of the 3 finalist cities, Barcelona, Braga, or Brussels, will be the first European capital of democracy. The meeting with the organizers had to take place with the mayor. I have to apologize her presence. I mean, she excuses her presence. We have Mr. Jordi Martí, who's substituting her, and whom I thank him for being here. Now is the moment to listen to the protagonists of today's event that come here with news. I will not do a spoiler. I would like to thank them all for being here.
The co-founder of the European Capital of Democracy, Mr. Helfried Kahl. Thank you for coming, Helfried, and welcome to Barcelona. You know that Barcelona is committed with democracy, and for us, it's an exciting opportunity to participate in this project. So you have the microphone. Thank you.
Thank you very much and good morning. Thank you, Mr. Councillor. First and foremost, let me convey our best wishes to the Mayor for a speedy recovery of the Mayor. But thanks also that we could still go ahead with this very important moment for us, for a civil society initiative, European Capital of Democracy, that we founded pretty much exactly 4 years ago in 2019. And the idea behind it was that we wanted to work against the wave of authoritarianism that we see, that we unfortunately still see, and use a mechanism that we have used in other places as well, and that is to show that democracy delivers. This is what this prize is about. And we started with the analysis that cities are the cradle of democracy historically, as you know, and cities are also pretty much defenders against the wave of authoritarianism because cities also have to deliver. So this was a starting point for our thinking. And before I go further, I would like to also thank the whole team of the European Capital of Democracy, who has worked very hard and diligently for the last 4 years to create this program. I would also like to thank the experts jury present here with Antonella Valmorbida, the Secretary General of ALDA, and also the citizens jurors, 2,500 of them, represented here by Ms. Elisa de Pasquale. I would also like to thank our financial supporters, Patricia Kahane, the president of the Kahane Foundation, and Porticus Foundation. And last but not least, I would also like to thank the Council of Europe, the Secretary General of the Council of Europe, who has given us encouragement and support over the last 4 years, and also the Vice President of the European Commission, Dubravka Šuica, responsible for democracy in the European Commission, who has also given us political support. Well, how did we get here? We decided to have a positive selection procedure, a positive competition among cities in Europe, Europe we define as the Council of Europe territory, so all member states, all cities in member states in the Council of Europe who have more than 100,000 inhabitants could apply for this title. And we were very lucky to have more than 20 interested cities, and in the end 13 cities who took the hard effort, and I think the people in Barcelona, the team in Barcelona knows what I'm talking about, to actually submit everything we wanted the cities to submit in order to be able to evaluate them. These 13 cities had to apply with democracy projects that they are doing on their own and they are already doing, so that we could evaluate them. 5 of them they needed to submit and describe, and 2 of them they needed to come up with in order to promise to us that they would go even further in democratic efforts once they receive the title. Well, we got really good projects, and we knew that we would get really good projects. It was a lot of work to evaluate them, and I would like to thank here again the experts jury who had the task of reducing this list to the 3 shortlisted candidates, the 3 best candidates. Antonella will speak about this later on. These 3 shortlisted cities were then given the opportunity to present themselves once more to the citizens' jury. We had a mechanism whereby you would see the mayors presenting the program, but you could also dig deeper as a citizens' juror. With your handheld, you could see all the documents that were submitted by those 3 cities, and in the end, you did a rating of the different cities. 2,500 citizens jurors we registered for this, and we are very happy that apparently the first voting procedure went very well. It was a good exercise and a good experience for the citizens juror. Now, why are we going to do this? Why are we doing this? We are doing this because we want a European capital of democracy that showcases how democracy delivers for the citizens, and that it be a stage for best practice all over Europe, sharing innovative participation projects. So this is not just about one city, it's about a city that is exemplary. We have 13 cities which are now in our network who want to show also what they are doing, and they will be showing this in this city network and also in the selected city. You might guess by now which one this is going to be. And the important thing is for us to create a positive discourse on democracy. We are not about PR, but we know that democracy is probably the best form of government that is also the most critical of itself, and it should be. This is an important feature of democracy. But we also need to have the conscience that it is the best form of government and that it actually is the one that delivers to the citizens and that takes the interest of the citizens into account. We also know that democracy needs to reinvent itself in certain places, and this is what we want to celebrate with the prize. Together with the city and third partners from all over Europe, we will create an engaging program year starting in autumn this year. So we are announcing today which city this is going to be, and together with the city, we will present a program of activities starting in autumn next year. In this autumn, to you again, we will be here again to tell you more about this. With this, I would like to now hand over to Antonella Valmorbida, the head of the experts jury, who will explain to us the process that led to the 3 shortlisted cities. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. This is indeed a very, very big day. We are awarding the first title of the European Capital of Democracy. Therefore, on behalf of the jury members and also on behalf of ALDA, the European Association for Local Democracy, which I represent here, I would like to congratulate the capital city, its political representative, its team, and its citizens here in Barcelona. Indeed, this is all what we are talking about, a great experience of governing and loving its own town with commitment of the political level, with vision and responsibility, the functioning of the team, and the recognition and participation of citizens. We, the members of the jury, had both a fantastic time evaluating the application and also a very difficult task to pre-select the 3 last ones to be then submitted to the citizen jury: Braga, Brussels, and Barcelona. It was fantastic to see in 3 of them innovation put in place, new and effective ways where democracy can be more structured and applies in day-to-day life for citizens, and how its cooperation brought visible effects on the quality of life of the people. We saw vibrant communities and fantastic proposals in these 3 cities. We, members of the jury, were driven by our personal experience coming from different backgrounds and countries. I've been accompanied in this journey by other jury members. I want to quote them here: Bruno Kaufmann, Amina Kravatz, Jamie Just, and Robert Kremer. We decided together with the ECOD team the principle and features of the selection, and then also visited the town. The final word stayed in the hands of the citizen jury. The city of Barcelona today is the winner. We hope that its experience will help us and inspire us together to give visibility and recognition to the efforts made in this town and translate words into facts and to have an impactful democracy together with citizens. We would like, as Elfried said, that the prize could be a mean of motivation, an example that it is worth trying, and that democracy is a hard job, but this is the way to follow. We didn't only recognize what was done, and Barcelona indeed did a lot, but we also measured the ambition, the vision, and the coherent and holistic approach in implementing democracy at the local level. We found Barcelona team and projects going into this direction with full commitment of the political level, specialization and professionalization of its team, and the full engagement of cities and citizens. We loved the projects and we were excited to discuss about them all. They aim to include the general population, citizens broadly, women, youth, minority groups, and disadvantaged citizens. It sometimes seems that participation is even in the DNA of Barcelona. Co-creation, co-production, inclusion of other sectors are embedded and welcomed by all stakeholders. We know that it's easy to write words, it's much more difficult to implement, and we can see here we try hard to do democracy. The visions were articulated in projects ideas: democratic innovation for a democratic city. The climate participatory budgeting project is a robust and clear extension of existing approaches from which strong results can be expected. We are aware of the challenge of technology and digitalization and the way it is addressed in democratic terms, and all the instruments applied are interested. We came across approaches to collaborative spaces in the theater and performing arts industry with brilliant democracy and participation ideas. The focus on youth and environment was also striking in initiatives and programs. The scale of commitment was also very relevant in terms of people engaged and some allocated, showing a real commitment and a wish of constant improvement, like the Superblock and the participatory budget. Innovation in forms of participation have been tested. I can only confirm that we had an excellent impression of the organizational and communication capacity of the city to deliver and effectively promote the ECOD program year. We are looking forward to be part, for instance, in the federative deliberation on metropolitan climate change and its climate participatory budget, and of course, much more. Finally, it's just very nice to be here in Barcelona, such a nice place in such a troubled world. We are convinced that local democracy will save democracy. Thank you and good luck.
Hi, everyone. So going back a little bit to the etymology of the word democracy, which literally means power to the people, I think one of the first things I want to thank ECOD for is for having left the final decision to the people. We were a group of 2,500 citizen jurors who had the responsibility of choosing between the 3 cities that were selected as finalists, who was going to be the first capital of democracy. And I think this is the first and maybe most prominent, to me, example of how thinking and reflecting upon democracy can be brought to the people in the first place. It was the people who decided that Barcelona, out of the 3, should be the first capital. And it was a democratic process, as in given to the people, not only to the expert that selected Barcelona to be here and to work with us, to enlighten and bring democracy to European citizens. I personally became an active citizen when I became an immigrant. And a thing that I think struck everyone in the citizen jury was how diverse and how inclusive some of the proposals were. How there was a real effort, not only in the city of Barcelona, but also in the other finalist cities, to include all elements of society, to reach farther away to those who are usually not included in the democratic process. And I think, to me, seeing this effort in bringing in diversity, in including as many people as possible, was really one of the things that made me feel positive and hopeful about the whole process and the whole vision of the European Capital of Democracy. Benjamin Barber, who was a sociologist and an advisor to the US government, said that cities are the better equipped to deal with the most perilous challenges of our time, such as climate change, terrorism, poverty. The unique qualities of the cities are civic trust, pragmatism, networking, and solidarity. Cities have no borders, unlike nation states. And in a way, all of these characteristics make them more resilient and more apt to react to the challenges we're facing as societies. This is a big responsibility for cities and a big responsibility for mayors and politicians who run them. But it is true. Citizenship is about duty, but it's also about love. Loving your community and bringing the best possible of yourself to your community, helping your community to grow. And I think there have been many positive examples that Antonella has mentioned that make Barcelona such a unique and excellent place for people to bring the love for the community out and to participate collectively in building a city that is better, that is more resilient, that is sustainable in the full meaning of the word, not only for the planet, but for all these people and throughout time. I wish to Barcelona to become another excellent case study of how cities can save the world. And personally, I also take the responsibility of supporting this mission by spreading the word about the European Capital of Democracy and helping that connective effort of reaching people through technology, but also bringing democracy to the physical space so that people can meet, can interact, and can build their own communities. Thank you.
Thanks again to Elisa Del Pasquale for this statement as a representative of the citizens' jury. Well, and now let me congratulate wholeheartedly the city of Barcelona, the civil society of Barcelona, the citizens of Barcelona, the administration of Barcelona, and the political leadership of Barcelona for this honorary award to become the first ever European Capital of Democracy. Mr. Deputy Mayor, may I ask you to come here and let's be very careful not to get this heavy trophy.
The videos now? No, no. Ah, okay. First kids? Okay.
Helfried Kahl, Antonella Balmórbida, Elisa de Pasquale, la señora Vesna Dolinsnesk. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for seeing this initiative. And thank you very much for seeing in Barcelona. Thank you very much for your choice. And welcome, welcome in our city. Per nosaltres, per l'Ajuntament, em sembla que no només parlo...
For us, for the City Council, and then not only speak on behalf of the government, but on behalf of all the municipal groups, the cities, organizations, the Council of the Cities, etc. Such an award, such a fact is very important on its own. Barcelona is the first European capital of democracy. Is a recognition that beyond the activities and the program that we have to deploy in the coming months is big news on its own. We heard before that democracy is at risk. We see how authoritarianism is growing in our background. We see what happened in the US and in Brazil. Authoritarianism is seen in different governments. In Europe, extreme right is endangering because it's questioning the fundamental principles of democracy that have been the area of political and citizen debate up until now. The second central idea of this initiative is that cities were the cradle of democracy, and probably, as we heard before, they can be the areas where democracy can be refounded, adapted to contemporary challenges. I'm very happy to see that we are doing it in the Saluda scene. When we explain what this hall is, we'd like to say that it's the noble room of the City Council of Barcelona. But this was a city parliament in the Middle Ages, when in the Middle Ages, when we didn't hear about democracy. Here we hosted the meeting of the council of the 100 representatives of different citizens areas which in a deliberation ended up making decisions up until the level that could be accepted. And we like to say that the cities have not only been the cradle of democracy, but Barcelona we're heading the way in the European context. When thinking, reflecting about democracy, there was a medieval saying that said that the air of the cities makes us free. Well, for all these reasons, we are pleased to receive this distinction because we wanted Barcelona to be a reference in citizen participation, in democratic innovation. We heard about some of the projects that facilitated Barcelona's election, the deliberative assemblies such as the Young Forum, the Assembly of the Climate, the participative budgets that took place for the first time in Barcelona. The CIDIM, a platform with Arnau Montero, one of the founders, a platform that has not only been used in Barcelona, but also it's a tool of deliberation and decision-making in many institutional public and association spheres. Canodrome as a space for digitalization, participative processes of the superblocks amongst different urban projects that helped us in our process. Why we did all of this in the last few years? Well, because democracy is not something that is stable. It's not only having laws that sketch the rules of the game, because we vote every 4 years and we choose citizens, representatives that will, make their decisions until new representatives substitute them or not. The challenge of democracy, however, is that beyond representative democracy, we reinforce participative democracy beyond our limits, where we ask citizens to take the urban spaces as their own. All of these initiatives have followed this direction, as we will have to think about how the city without places without borders. Well, now Barcelona is not just a municipality; it's a big regionality. It's a big region, the metropolitan region, with Oriol as its representative, over 5 billion people. Big challenges that go beyond the local governments. This is a challenge that it's not only a Barcelona challenge, but it's shared by many other cities. This should be used to do that. Let me finish by saying that this award is probably something that will not generate a projection as other awards, but this is probably one of the most important, if not the most, that reinforces the capitality that Barcelona intends to continue undertaking and following, not only with important projects, the capitality of architecture or Manifesta, speaking about contemporary art, and the capital of democracy, not only with important projects under an economic standpoint, like the America's Cup, the Mobile World Congress, and so many other initiatives that place Barcelona in the map. I'm very happy to see that Barcelona, we are in the map of references of one of the main challenges that humankind is facing in our near future, which is rebuilding the democratic space. This is an opportunity to lead from Barcelona one of these strategic debates, one of the most important debates. I would like to think about the program. We have new ideas, and we'll be very soon explaining what we will be doing, all the initiatives that we will be undertaking. This will serve so that Barcelona gathers those citizens, politicians, scholars, experts who feel concerned to debate about the future of democracy in the world, so that we can continue innovating with projects that can be exemplary, showing good practices to other local realities that allow us to strengthen solidarity with specific challenges. We heard about Barber. Barber has a very nice sentence, I think. Well, he says that every time that heads of state meet, everyone speaks about the problems of their own states, and they speak about very different things. When mayors speak about, well, things, after 2 minutes, they all reach an agreement because they are speaking about the same things. The cities' spheres can strengthen different positions, even if they are different, in order to fight against poverty, inequality, and climate emergency, allowing everyone to reinvent the basis of democracy. This will be done by not only voting every 4 years, but making them involved from the very moment they wake up in the morning until they go to bed at night. Thank you very much. We are so happy to receive this recognition. We hope to be at the level of the challenge that you have in our hands through this award that we have been given. Thank you.
So the fact that 3 days ago we didn't yet know who is going to win this wonderful trophy meant that two of our foremost supporters could not be here. It's the Secretary General of the Council of Europe, Maria Pejcinovic-Buric, who sent a video message. And after that, we will hear the Vice President of the European Commission for Democracy and Demography, Madame Schwitzer.
In recent years, Europe has been in democratic decline. Voter turnout has fallen, civic space and participation have shrunk, and freedom of expression has been curtailed. These and other negative trends eat away at the foundations of our democracies and threaten a way of life for which generations have fought and for which many have lost their lives. A struggle that is being played out today in Ukraine, whose people continue to show such strength and resilience in the face of terrible aggression. Many studies have shone a light on the troubles now affecting democracy. including reports by the Council of Europe and a recent pilot survey conducted jointly with the European Capital of Democracy. But these reports are not fatalistic. They make clear that amid the bad news, good things are also happening, and that with political will and public participation, the democratic backsliding can be halted and reversed. The question is what each of us is willing to do to make that happen, and how we can highlight the positives, replicate them, and share the drive and best practice that will give new life to democratic values. The European Capital of Democracy Award is a prime example of how this can be done. It recognizes the innovative achievement of a European city in exercising its democratic power and involving citizens in decision-making. Local government has always been the level of public authority closest to the people it serves, and with which citizens interact most often. So it is here that new ideas and democratic participation are perhaps best placed to flourish. This prize not only recognizes excellence, but holds it up as an inspiration to others. At the Council of Europe, we are proud that our long-standing 12 principles for good governance have informed the criteria by which the winner is chosen, including responsiveness, innovation, and openness to change, and sustainability and long-term orientation. And we are also happy to have helped assemble the large and vibrant citizens' jury that selected this year's worthy prize winner, a process that is itself inclusive and democratic. So my congratulations go to the teams at the Innovation in Politics Institute and the European Capital of Democracy, and to the winner of the 2023 award. At the dark time for Europe, points of democratic light are vital for illuminating the right path forward.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear citizens, as a supporter of the European Capital of Democracy from its very beginning, I welcome the announcements of the very first European Capital of Democracy designated by thousands of European citizens. I congratulate you wholeheartedly on this important initiative. I look forward to attending the opening festivities in September this year. To kick off a year-long program of high-level events, international best practice exchange, art and democracy exhibitions, and activities focused on the young. After a decade of multiple crises and attacks on our European values, it is time to join forces, fight back, and connect the democratic innovators and change makers of our time. The European Capital of Democracy will create a vibrant stage for democratic best practice exchange and for experiencing new forms of democratic innovation in action. As a former mayor myself, I know about the challenges and opportunities of cities. By joining forces with their citizens and reaching out to all urban stakeholders, they have the power to design, prototype and implement solutions to tackle the big challenges of our time, from climate change to intergenerational justice and social cohesion. Let us together make the very first European Capital of Democracy an inspiration for the future of democracy and for the future of Europe as a whole, reaching beyond borders and rebuilding trust in our institutions together as diverse and united citizens of Europe. Thank you.